I'm Michael Binns, go to Gisborne High School. I'm here to do my Art BTEC Unit 2 2D Mixed Media Formal Elements and Evaluation over the art that I've been doing over the past few weeks. And this, as you can see, is my title page. It has information of what we've been doing throughout the project and the deadline. And it has a smooth texture and is mostly using red colours and dark oranges. Also, I've used splatter art technique to produce these splodges here. The next page, and this is the media used to create 2D art. I used, like, as you can see, watercolour, acrylic paint, pen, crayons, pastels, pencils, and I used each in order to interpret which media they are. This is the idea page that we all had to do. It's not much to look at, but it just gives you an idea of the sort of items that we were going to, choose to progress with through the project. And this is my first art. Look, as you can probably already have guessed, I chose Apple products. This is one of the first iPods. I used line art around the edges with a black pen, so it could make the object stand out more. I used green and grey and black felt tip in order to colour it. There's space here that could be filled, but as I didn't have time to add to that. And the second object is a different type of iPod. As you can see, I used using a printing method that involved carving into a piece of rubber and rubbing ink on it and printing it onto the paper. It has a slightly rubbery texture, and I used a white ink in contrast to a black background in order for it to be able to be seen more. On the third images, I used a different form of printing method that involved cutting out a shape in paper and painting over it and smudging it down. As you can see, I've chosen yet another iPod, and I've used different colours and different amounts of iPods in order to fill space. It has a slightly rough texture where the paint has gone and a smooth texture where the paper is. This one is again another iPod, the iPod Touch. I used this iPod in order to draw and copy from it. I included the crack across the screen in order to add more detail. I used it's got a slightly pasty texture and has a lot of space on the outside that I was unable to fill. This is the iPod Nano Touch, yet another iPod. It's got a slightly rough texture due to the watercolours that I used. I used a front in contrast to the background, the colours in order to bring out the picture more so that it would stand out more than, say, the background, as it was just used to fill space. As you can see, there are no line art on this, it was just drew with a paintbrush. This one is an eye something, I don't know. And I use pencils to do this, but the pencils are of dull colours, and I shaded and rubbed in the pencil here at the bottom. What?
It's an iMac.
It's an iMac. I used it pencils in order to draw this, obviously. I used dark colours. I did a bit of colour here in order to bring out the screen. Obviously didn't work that well. I included a background from what I could see from drawing the item, from having it in front of me. And this is the final sixth one, which is an iPod. I created this using the mosaic sort of method. I glued different pieces together in order to bring it together. it's got a slightly rough and bumpy texture, obviously from gluing things on, etc. It has space here that could be used, which could probably improve the artwork. This was just a practice page with my printing technique, and this is where this video that I am taking will be burnt onto a disc and placed on here. And yeah, there, finished.